Have you ever experienced a spiritual awakening, a moment when suddenly your heart feels flooded with light, your faith is renewed, and your soul seems aligned with the purpose of life? Perhaps you were listening to a khutbah, sermon, reading the Quran, or going through a hardship that brought you closer to Allah. During that time, you may have felt a powerful rush of connection, clarity, and motivation, a sense that your life had taken a divine turn. But then, slowly, that fire dimmed. The excitement faded. You began to feel lost, disconnected, and even confused, wondering what happened to that passionate feeling of faith. If this resonates with you, understand one important truth. You are not alone. What you're experiencing is not uncommon. It's part of the natural process of spiritual development. The fading of spiritual motivation does not mean your awakening was fake, nor does it mean you've failed. In fact, it may be a sign that your faith is entering a deeper, more meaningful phase. Just like the strongest metals are forged in fire, your soul is being prepared for something greater. This period of difficulty is not a punishment, it is a training ground. What is spiritual awakening in Islam? In Islam, a spiritual awakening is not just a surge of emotion or a temporary high. It is a profound shift in awareness and connection to your Creator. It is a divine calling, a sign that Allah is turning your heart back toward Him. This awakening can occur in many forms. For some, it happens while reading the Quran, when a verse pierces the heart as though it was revealed just for them. For others, it may be triggered by attending a funeral, reflecting on death, and realizing how temporary this life truly is. Some find it in moments of despair, when they cry out to Allah in desperation and receive an unexpected wave of tranquility in return. This reawakening is not foreign to our nature. In fact, it is a return to our original state, the fitra. As the Prophet Muhammad said, "Every child is born upon fitra," Bukhari. This fitra is our innate inclination toward truth, purity, and connection with Allah. Over time, however, it gets buried under layers of sins, distractions, and heedlessness. When an awakening happens, it's as though a light within us is being uncovered. But here's the essential part many overlook. A spiritual awakening is only the beginning of the journey, not the destination. Even the best of creation, the Sahaba, companions of the Prophet, experienced fluctuations in their faith. One companion confessed to the Prophet that he felt spiritually strong in his presence, but weaker when away. The Prophet did not criticize him. Instead, he affirmed the reality that faith has its highs and lows. This teaches us that sustaining faith requires understanding, patience, and continuous effort. Why you lose motivation after awakening? So why does the initial rush of Iman fade away? Why do we feel so strong and spiritually driven at first, only to later feel like we've regressed? Let's explore 4 profound reasons. The weight of responsibility. Before the awakening, you may have been unaware of how much change you needed. But once the heart awakens, the reality of your responsibilities, such as purifying the soul, abandoning bad habits, or resisting sin, hits like a tidal wave. You suddenly see the mountain you need to climb, and it feels overwhelming. This can paralyze motivation. You're no longer blind, but the path now looks steep and endless. The firework effect. A spiritual awakening often feels like a dazzling firework, bright, powerful, but short-lived. The emotional intensity is like a spark, not a sustained flame. Once the novelty wears off, you may misinterpret the decrease in emotional high as spiritual failure. But in truth, maintaining faith is more like tending to a candle, small, daily acts that keep it burning. The emotion may fade, but the flame of intention and action must remain. Shaitan's counterattack, Shaitan despises spiritual progress. When he sees a believer turning back to Allah, he launches a relentless counterattack. He whispers, "You're not sincere. You're just pretending." you'll never be consistent. These thoughts aren't yours. They're part of the spiritual warfare that follows awakening. Shaitan's goal is to make you doubt yourself, to weaken your resolve, and ultimately to give up. But remember, his very attention is proof that your awakening was real. Allah's test of sincerity. This may be the most important reason of all. After awakening, Allah tests the sincerity of your faith. He asks, "Do you worship me for the feeling or for me?" Real faith persists even when emotions are absent. This stage of dryness is not a punishment. It's a refinement. Allah wants to elevate you from emotional dependence to conscious devotion. The absence of spiritual highs is an invitation to deepen your relationship with Him on a more committed and mature level. How to regain your motivation? Though the fire may fade, the flame is never extinguished. It can be reignited. And here's how. Return to the Quran. Daily, don't let a day pass without the Quran. But go beyond reading. Listen. Let it speak to you. Reflect on its meanings. Read as if Allah is talking directly to your heart. When Surah Ad-Duha says, "Your Lord has not abandoned you, nor has He detested you." 93:3. Let those words settle deep into your soul. The Quran is not a book of rules. It's a love letter from your Creator. Pray like you're whispering to Allah. Change the way you pray. Don't rush through your salah. Whisper to Allah in sujood. Tell Him your struggles. Ask Him to reignite your heart. Nothing softens the heart like a deep, honest conversation with your Lord. He listens. He sees your tears. As the Prophet said, the closest a servant is to his Lord is when he is in prostration. Muslim 3. Start small, but stay consistent. Many people burn out because they try to do too much too fast. Begin with small deeds. 1 verse of Quran a day, 2 minutes of dhikr, 1 sincere dua. The Prophet said, "The most beloved deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if small." Bukhari. Surround yourself with the right people. Your company shapes your faith. The Prophet said, "A person is upon the religion of his friend." Tirmidhi. Join a halaqah, an online Islamic community, or simply connect with a friend who reminds you of Allah. Having companions in faith makes the path easier and less lonely. Embrace the struggle. Don't resent the spiritual dryness. Respect it. It's where real growth happens. The Sahaba didn't become the best generation because their path was easy. They struggled, doubted, and were tested, but they never gave up. Your struggle is not a weakness. It is the furnace that strengthens your soul. Your test is a sign of Allah's love. This entire journey, from awakening to doubt to growth, is a sign of Allah's deep love for you. The Prophet said, "When Allah loves a people, He tests them." Tirmidhi. This means your pain is not random. Your emptiness is making room for something greater. Every moment of sadness, every struggle to stay on the path, every whispered dua in the dark, it's all recorded. Allah sees you, He hears you, and He is closer to you than you realize. Even your setbacks are valuable. A temporary fall does not define you. What matters is that you keep getting back up. Allah does not expect perfection from you. He expects sincerity. The tears you shed in secret, the guilt that weighs on your heart, the longing to return, they are all signs that you are already beloved to Him. Final reminder. Your comeback starts now. If you're reading or watching this message, it is not by accident. It's a divine nudge. Allah is calling you back. Don't ignore it. This could be the sign you've been asking for. Your awakening was real. Your struggles are valid. And your comeback? It starts right now. You are not weak. You're growing. You are not lost. You're being redirected. You are not abandoned. You are deeply loved by the one who created your soul. Let your heart rise again. Let your faith burn bright, not as a firework, but as a steady flame that lights your path home.